Welcome to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Community Report 60 for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. This was released on the 3rd of October 2022. And while it doesn't announce any major new functionality, it's quite an interesting report. So let's just get into it and start reading what the devs have got to say. It says, greetings, dear comrades of the Soviet Republic. Another 2 weeks has passed since the last report, and a lot of water did flow through Slovakia in the Danube River. Maybe it is not that much as other years used to be, but it is a lot. Nevertheless, today we have fewer exciting subjects to write about, but it's still another report, and we have something special for those who enjoy not playing the game, but not also making content, especially maps. We're not going to look at the pictures straight away. I'm just going to read the second paragraph. It says, while we are working on fixes and tweaks to make the Metro update ready for public stable release, we had a side project which is started back in time when we introduced adjustable borders for the maps. And today we can proudly inform you that we have finished a new map for the game based on Slovakia. Things cannot have realistic size, so it is scaled down a lot, and lots of rivers are missing. But this map is a showcase on how things can be done, and we are sure there are many talented people who can do even better than we did. From the screenshots you can see that this map can be quite challenging to play because the terrain is not that flat, but you can find good areas there to build up new Soviet Slovakia, or at least its scaled down version of the game. Okay, let's just have a look at the pictures, and this is pretty interesting because it shows the extent of the way that you can actually edit the border. But the main thing I take away from this map is if you look in the left hand side here, you'll see a very short section of blue, which is the NATO border. So what the map and border edit tool means that we're no longer locked to having a border on the top and on the right for NATO and the Soviet on the left and at the bottom. Means that the NATO border can be put anywhere, and you can also define the area of the map, because obviously this map is going to be quite small compared to the standard gameplay map. And I find that quite fascinating. In fact, when I looked at this a couple of hours ago, when I first noticed the report had been released, it's already given me a couple of ideas for an early start map. I know if you follow the channel that I go on a lot about early starts. And one of the things about early starts was picking the starting location. I really do like this idea that you can have the NATO on the western side of the map. So let's just get out there. Let's just have another look at a couple more pictures here. And you can just see the NATO border there coming there. And they've actually put a customs post. I'm presuming this is a main river through Slovakia. And we've got Bratislava there. And behind that, we've got a nice flat area here. And I would say that this would probably be your main farming industry if the map is pretty hilly. And I quite like the idea that you've got the main customs post here with a bridge across going directly into a town. That would actually cause a little bit of a transport problem if you were starting from the NATO perspective. But in fact, it'd be quite interesting. Let's just go back to here. Choosing the starting location would be quite interesting. So I do wonder if all these roads have actually got customs posts on them. That could be something worth looking at. Let's have a look at this map. Yeah, wow, that's what you call some hilly terrain there. There's Zilna there. Okay, I think getting through here, you certainly would have to stick with the roads. And then if we come down to this one, yeah, this is another example. Yeah, be very interested to see where the resources are on the map as well. Yeah, it looks a little bit like the maybe all the roads coming in from different places are going to be small custom posts. Let's just go back to map here. I'm looking for potential rail links. Hard to see on this map. Anyway, I don't want to spend too long doing that. And we've actually got another picture here. Let's have a quick look at this one. Oh, this has got a bigger post. This is was it Milhorst? Which is on the east. It has to be quite unusual to actually start a map in the east rather than the west or south. Actually, yeah, I quite like that actually. Again, you've got a little bit of a bowl here. I think this would be probably be the starting post because you've got a road coming in here with 3 roads coming through to I'll say Koishish, and then you push through lots of towns. That would be quite an interesting populated map to play, actually. Anyway, let's just get back to the third paragraph. We also want to use this report as an opportunity to offer anybody who is familiar with map creating for the game and has made some good and well thought through maps a chance to do something for the game and potentially get some financial reward for that. Interesting. If anybody has the confidence that he or she can make a map for the game that may be included in one of our pre-installed maps, there is a contact form on our webpage, or to contact us and make a deal with us. You understand correctly that we are willing to financially reward somebody who will make maps. It's not a competition this time, and you need to contact us first, and we can negotiate about the subject. Please, when contacting us, add link to your work, images, or directly to the workshop item. Interesting. Now, I'm not going to talk about the financial side of this. I'm just intrigued why the devs are looking for additional custom maps. Now, I think this ties into the fact that you can now edit the border. And I think if you go back to the previous dev report, there was a hint with the discussion in relations to customs houses, and that they had some ideas for it. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I'm going to not claim I've got no inside information about the thought process why the devs feel they need some extra starting maps. I wonder whether that is going to tie into possibly a scenario, a feature within the game, because it's already been mentioned in the roadmap, and I do wonder whether that's the direction that some of the starting maps may actually provide scenarios, which would then also fit in with realistic mode. And I'm going to stop there because that is just pure speculation. So we're going to go down to the next paragraph. It says, now we have some interesting tweaks and fixes. One of them was made because we found some players who were exploiting the price change mechanic to make some speculative trades and thus cheating the system. No, we are not sending them to prison this time, but we changed the mechanic, and now if you buy a huge amount of resources, the price will change instantly to avoid selling that in a couple of days with profit. Of course, we do not need to do this with selling, because if you want to try to do it the opposite way, the price will pick up instantly. So this is the end of these types of speculation. I must admit, I'm sorry for I must admit, I do love the creativity of players, and I can imagine the frustrations of devs, not just in Workers and Resources Soviet Republic, but in other games. There is always somebody out there who can work out an angle and an exploit to actually take advantage of the game. And I think that's both negative and positive, because negative is that if the exploit stays in the game, then it can distort the gameplay. But on the positive side, it's a kind of what you could call extreme testing. And once that exploit gets out, then the devs are able to plug it. I must admit, I'm guessing that it must involve ships, because the volumes they're talking about, well, it'd have to be ships or trains to get the volume in. We all play the game in our own way, and if you want to do it that way, well, that's the way it is. We've got a picture here, but I think we'll just go down and see. It says from other stuff, we want to mention that now we will be able to assign foreign border connections to helicopter construction offices through the window of the office. Then we also fixed the problem with assignment panel tram roads to construction offices through assignment tool. From other things, we removed water and sewage wagons from the game because they were added by mistake, and trains were not meant to be used for the transportation of these resources. And also we had to make some tweaks for crime, as criminal case distribution did not work for multiple courthouses as intended, and only one court was getting all the cases, which was critical. Besides that, we adjusted the way that how convicted criminals were being placed in prisons, and also emergency vehicles are now able to use tram panel roads. I'm not sure I would want to run a helicopter across borders, but as I say, with respect to the edited board and the map we saw at the top, I can understand why that's now been added. And what they've actually done, if we come back up here and just click on this picture here, what they've done is that they put the set beyond borders a button out there. So I assume you'd select asphalt and say I want it collected from the Soviet Republic or the NATO Republic or NATO. Okay, that makes sense. Now, the one fix in here that I do welcome is the one about courthouses, because I have noticed this in my Seven Crosses series, that I've built multiple courthouses, but the first one I built is always seems to be chock-a-block with cases, and the other ones have nothing. And then what happens is, and the courthouse I'm referring to is the one in Colville, and what happens is that starts to get overloaded, and then that seems to have an impact on the local crime in that area. So the fact they fixed that is quite useful. I must admit, I hadn't noticed the problem with the dispersal of convicted criminals. I've tended to notice that there's been a fairly even dispersal of prisoners to the various prisons across the map. And I think that's about it. We'll just go down to the last paragraph. It was a lot of fixing, as you can see from the recent changelog, and we have made a substantial progress in the department. The update is not ready for release yet, but we are closer to that, and it is not always about exciting new stuff. And we need to take care about existing things too. This report is more about what we already have and what was made better. Later we will focus on new stuff again, and now we want to make the update available also for those who do not dare to play the public beta version, because there is quite a few improvements to the update which will make the game more enjoyable. So until next time, enjoy life and stay safe, and tuned for the next report. I must admit, I am looking forward to when the devs start talking about what would be in the next update, because if you look at the roadmap, it just talks about adding research, small medium buildings, and that seems a very simple update. But I got a feeling, and again, I've got no inside knowledge, that the next update may include waste management, and the next two update cycles may be combined into one release. But that's just pure speculation. So this is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.